Good evening. Start choking me, good God. Hey, B Rose. What's good, girl? Hey, my friend on the other side. On the other side of the America. Of the America. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh, you going to vote? Are you ready? Have you decided? Knowing good and well, it's about to be a long tomorrow. Election night is always something. I just ought to take off and not go in at 12:30 tomorrow. Go have a party. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Might be able to do a little something tomorrow. Because I don't have to be to work until 12:30. I'm trying to go to South Carolina this weekend and get my furniture finally. And I'm looking at the ticket on that. And I'm like, ooh. Ooh. But it's at the same time, it's like I've been paying for storage this last year. I need to get out of that. That's money that can be in my pocket or going somewhere else. I need to repurpose that money. So although it's gonna cost me a little penny to bring it up, at least that'll be over with, you know. Getting ready for bed. What is it out there? 9 o'clock? Girl, I wish I was getting ready for bed. I just got out of bed. But the crazy thing is, as good as I was asleep, I would have woke up and then been woke like I was at work still. So, yeah. That's the size of it. I haven't really had a lot going on since we were on earlier. Just more, just, I guess, brainstorming in a sense. Strategizing. Yeah, strategizing for, okay. I be forgetting I leave the house at like 11 something. Gotta be to work at 12 something. Strategizing for my move. And, you know, I was thinking about it earlier. Like, you know what? I had a little journey that I documented when I came here. I was pretty consistent overall, but after a while it was like, for the most part, everyone saw from my decision to relocate, and then they saw me going back and forth and things, and then everybody traveled with me on my move here. When I started crying when I crossed the border, it was like, welcome to Virginia. It was just like a huge, hey, Bolo Bolo. It was like a huge, I don't know what it was. I wasn't really sad, but it was a huge, a whole bunch of emotions just came at one time when I crossed that border. Like, that was goodbye, farewell to South Carolina. So yeah, a lot of the guys that are here now were with me along that time. That's what I'm hoping to get back to, those days when I was coming on every day. Man, we used to have fun. I used to be so hyped. I used to have my my laptop on my shoulder, pacing around the living room talking. I was like, yeah, I had a speech every day. Okay. It's in there. It's in there. I had to go and turn off notifications in my distractors camp. Then I got a distractor in the house. So I'm sneaky, huh? Now I can just be live freely. Don't want to know. Yeah, everybody don't get social media. They don't get why you go live and talk to people that you seemingly don't know. They don't understand how you form a camaraderie with people who are otherwise strangers. It's like you get a sense of knowing people just by daily communications in hey cutting edge in different chats, And then when you talk to people on a daily, in a transparent sense, then it's like we're friends, you know what I mean? Like you might not be friends, okay? These are my friends. And yeah. And for people who don't understand internet, that can be quite weird, I guess. I don't know, but I feel like when I don't go live, I'm in disobedience to what I know I was first supposed to do, which was press play talk. And I remember when I used to pray every night. Like I would go on social media and say, I'm gonna be praying tonight at 11. Anybody got any prayer requests? Drop them in my DM, and I got you. And man, I had a whole third bedroom. And I had like Bible scriptures taped all over the wall. I had like cue cards that I would write everybody's prayers on, and just have them laid out on the floor. Man, that room was seasoned up, okay? It was seasoned up with the prayers for the people. And that was every night, up to 2 hours or more. And I was very consistent. And I started getting roommates, and then it got to be less. And then to really almost no more, not in the fashion that I was doing. So with this live thing, it's like I don't want to fall into that place where I get so far away from what I was doing that I kind of just stop altogether. So sometimes you have to recalibrate, you know what I mean? Recalibrate. Remember your why. And that's what I had to do, was remember my why. My why has always been to encourage, motivate, uplift, and bring positivity from my channel, to share God first, events in my life, and my career, So that's the part we working on now, is me getting back active on going live, and more content showing what I do, my career, So I'm excited about that. So that's why I say come with me on this journey as I embark on finding a new salon home. It should be fun. It should be interesting. And I'm just going to let it go. You know what I mean? I'm not going to try to, I'm not never going to script nothing out. It just doesn't work for me. But, yeah. And also another thing I decided I was going to do, I'm going to try to treat this as I did my women's group, because I used to do a Zoom meeting with my ladies at church like every other week. We had a choice of doing once a month, every week, or every other week. So I did every other week, and it was for me, and it also was like, wow, I'm operating in leadership in a way that I didn't think I wouldn't have never imagined I would. But here I am with anywhere from 10 to 21 women every other week, sharing the good news, and applying it to life, not like a Bible study where I'm teaching scripture or anything like that, but faith talks, I would call it. Faith talks that were God-centered, and of course scripture came into play, but I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to grow with you. You're my sister, and yeah, we're going to grow together. So the way I would do that is I would find something, run across something, but for the most part, I would have to pray. Like, I don't know what to talk about today, but, God, show me, and something to happen, it'll be like, boom, then I have to go and find some things that I can overlook to draw my base from, I guess you would say, of what I was going to talk about, and then I would let it flow from there. So I'm trying to get myself disciplined to get back into doing things that way, and that way, we'll have a lot more areas to cover. And y'all can always, like, in the comments, leave like topics that you would want to talk about, and I will, ask God to give me how He would have me to give you guys, what He would want us to have from that topic or about that topic, how we can apply it to real life, our life, in a realistic way. We are all real, we all human, we all got things we go through, things we deal with on a daily basis. So whatever that topic is, how do we deal with that, or how do we use that? How does faith work with that? How does God use that? How can I use this for the glory of God? Whatever the case may be, that's what I'm trying to do. Because I was pretty good at it. I would always go back and listen to the sessions after the fact, because I would always be like, I would just feel like I'm sitting there like, which how I feel like sometime on here too. Like I just be on here rambling and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. That's how it feels, honestly, when you go live and you just start talking and you really don't have a talking point, and you just being led by the Spirit of God. And then when I go back and listen, I'll be like, oh, okay, I wasn't doing that. I actually said something. It's weird. That's just me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that. But yeah, it's always weird just sitting and talking. But I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I am here for it. And the only difference is it's not just female based. You know what I'm saying? It's not a women's group. It's a everybody thing. You know what I mean? Because all contrary to what they believe, men and women are human beings, and we're not that much different. We may operate a little different by nature, but overall, I don't think that our likes and dislikes, our desires and things like that are much different. I think we just have made it such a thing where, oh, men aren't like this and women are like this, that we don't realize that we all have a lot in common as men and women. What man don't want a good relationship with somebody that's full of love and everything? What man or woman alike doesn't want to be successful? What man or woman alike doesn't want to, be comfortable moving by faith and not by sight? I don't know. There's no gender to those things. You know what I'm saying? I firmly believe that the woman is a weaker vessel, but not for the way that a lot of women take it. That's not to take away from our strength or our value or our purpose. It's not to place us behind the man. It's to place us in the proper position that we are designed, which is how I feel about it. We're designed to be the helpmeet. We're designed to be the caregivers. We're designed to, I feel like we are the oil to a machine that God puts together. When the man and woman comes together, we are the oil that goes through and makes everything that the man brings to the table in his leadership. We're the oil that goes through and make those things work. We hold it together in a sense. Yeah, if you don't put oil in your car, what's gonna happen to your engine? It's gonna blow. So we don't. I think that a lot of people go against the man's vision to argue position or duties duties and things like that. I think that both parties have duties and both parties are responsible for the overall situation. No one greater than the other. But as the weaker vessel, my job is to make sure that the leader of my house isn't overwhelmed beyond what's necessary, that I'm not adding to his everyday woes, and vice versa. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't go just one way. It's not, woman, you make sure this man is this way. It's, man, you make sure this woman feels this way and this is going this way. Because when we work together, everything flows better. You know, and I think what happens is a lot of us, we don't move foundationally with our relationships, whether it's romantic or just brother and sisterhood, even work-wise, you know, business-wise. We don't move foundationally. When I say foundationally, I mean God is the foundation, should be the foundation of all things. And when we don't have that foundation in proper order, the things we build upon our shifty and compromised foundation usually falls down, falls apart eventually. You know what I mean? What good is it to build something all the way up and it looks so great, but because it was built on faulty grounds, it falls over, and now all your hard work goes to waste. I had when I used to live in Cleveland, my pastor used to talk about how in relationships it's like having a house. You're building a house, and it has to have the foundation, which is God. And on that foundation, it has to have good soil. And on that foundation is the fruits of your labor and your foundation, which is God. Now, with that good soil, now you can build something that's healthy, built on a solid ground. I was talking about that earlier, like being in a field of cement and there's just cracks for things to grow through. You know, your foundation and the soil that is there in the beginning is what you develop and grow from. That's what the beautiful roses come up out of. That's what them good greens and collard greens and tomatoes and onions and all that good stuff you grow come up in. You know, some of us like to grow the one plant. You know, you need good soil for all those. Yeah, anything that's alive and grows needs a good foundation. It needs good growing conditions. So when we take foundation out of our relationships, our business situations, and all those things, then it's gonna grow shifty and shaky. And for some people, it'll go on for years. You know what I'm saying? For years, and we can hold it together, but for so long, you know. That's why it's never good to compare yourself to others or desire what others have, because you don't know their foundation. You see what I'm saying? What we see is what looks right, what looks good, but what's the foundation? What did they build on? Does it look like that on the surface, but it's dirty on the inside? Does it look well put together and all on one accord on the outside, but then when you go behind closed doors, they beating each other up? You know what I mean? Are they at the freak offs when you want to be like them? You know, everybody want to be, oh, I want a relationship like J and B. You want to go to the freak offs? I don't desire nothing them people have, okay? Because I know their foundation ain't built on the rock, you know? And I don't mean the rock. I mean God, Jesus Christ, the rock. As rich as they are, as great as everything seems, guess what? When it's built on wickedness, it's coming down. I'd rather low and grow and have God bless me and elevate me along than to compromise myself and go against the things that God says and wants us to do, to have those things and then have it all taken away one day. Because that's what the enemy does. He lets you think it's all fine and dandy. You'll get the world. And one fine day, he be like, psych, I made you do all that. You turned away from your family. You got rid of your grandma, your cousin, whatever they be doing. I don't know. And I'm just saying, stuff they be saying. I had you to do all these things. I had you to forget who you are, who you were supposed to be. Because I'm not saying those people weren't meant to be who they are. I don't believe they were meant to be who they are, if that makes sense. I believe that with all those gifts and talents, God had a better plan, and it might just didn't go as fast, and it might just didn't mean you're gonna be as great. But when you're great with God, through God, then those things are the things that have longevity, and that's just like our relationships, So it's never good to be like, oh, I ain't submitting to a man because if he ain't doing this, it ain't no need to submit to him. And then my question would be to that woman, like, you don't want to submit. Well, first of all, you ain't married. Second of all, why you with a person you would never want to submit to? You're doing yourself a disservice. If you really feel like I'm a woman who would submit in a relationship, we got to get out of the thinking that submit is like some caveman word where the man gets to bop you in your head with a club and drag you by your ponytail over the ground like the caveman, because that's not what it is. Submit is order, and all things should be done with decency and in order. Most people be like, oh yeah, the Bible says you're supposed to submit to your husband. But nobody reads the next part where it says, husbands, submit to your wives. We submit to one another. It's not a tick for tack, but there's an order. There's a covering which that man should be your husband. It's supposed to be in your life. And if the person that you're building with and growing with doesn't have that fruit, what are you doing? That's how you end up in 30-year relationships and never got married, and you bitter, but you still with the man. Because now you done got used to him, and you don't feel like getting to know nobody all over again. You know how many women are in that situation? Hey, double. How many women are in that situation that now they are stuck because they settled? We look at settle nowadays as in, oh, somebody that ain't got this or ain't got that, and all, the women with the list and all that stuff. But to me, settling is staying in a space that you really don't want to be in just because, you're comfortable now. You can't build and grow like that. Why build and grow until you miserable, basically? Only to come 25 years later to say, you know what? I don't want this anymore. When you knew that at 4 years, 3 years, 6 months in some cases. But like I said, I don't think there's a gender specific role when it comes to relationships. I think it's, okay, what do I do? What do I need to do today, and what do you need to do today? There's a level of respect that we have for one another. There's things that we need to get done. Now, we may delegate different duties to one another, but it's not based on gender. He might have more time to do the laundry today than I do, so guess what? Today he's going to do it. He might get home before me and I got to work a little late, so he's going to do dinner, and vice versa. For the most part, I believe the woman, yeah, we do the dinner. But that's not to say, woman, you need to be in the kitchen cooking and in the bedroom on your back. It's a reciprocity that we should have when we growing with someone. We are both willing to do what it takes to have a successful relationship. No one is doing a tick for tack. No one is saying, well, I did this, you supposed to be doing that, and as the woman and as the man. No, as the man, yeah, there are things that you are supposed to do. I shouldn't be covering it. I mean, in the same sense, I don't cover and protect you the same way I feel like the man is supposed to cover and protect the woman. Like I say, I just think that everything goes hand in hand. I don't think there's one thing that women absolutely shouldn't be doing that. The man has to do, maybe changing a tire, but we can do that too. But that's in our the woman is the weaker vessel. Those are the things that we're supposed to allow a man to be a man. Most of us don't want to be. We don't even care about getting out a jack and lifting up the car. We think we can run out there with the jack on our back and lift the car up with one arm and put it under there just because, yeah, I can do it. I'm a woman, but I can do anything. Miss me with that. I want to be the weaker vessel because that's how God designed me. I'm not supposed to move in some crazy supernatural strength because I don't want to fall into what the world says I'm supposed to be as a woman. And that's the problem. You know what I mean? We look at things one way, but the way I see it is the world has stripped women of a lot of their strength and power by making it seem like if you do these things, you don't have power as a woman, and that's not true. There are God definitely equipped us for. It's not an argument, and there's things that God has equipped man for. There's no argument. It shouldn't be, but now here it is. We arguing on even if a person is a woman who got titties, like out the womb. That's no dig to anybody who has a different way, but IJS, there's a purpose for it all. But as individuals, we're supposed to be able to be in that situation like Double say. Iron sharpens iron. If you iron, don't get with you a butter knife. That's plastic cutlery. You want to get with somebody else that can sharpen you. And it's not, a lot of people, I think, really have this misconception that if I get with somebody that has what I lack, then when we come together, we'll be whole. You know that song? Devil is a lie. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. He makes up for the brokenness in me, and I take care of the brokenness in him. What he doesn't have, I give him, and what I don't have, he gives me. Now you done gave something else you wasn't supposed to eat it, and vice versa. Now y'all still two broke Negroes. Or whatever you are, fill in yourself. One thing I can say I have learned, is that wholeness is key. I don't think we'll ever be, well, we know we'll never be perfect, but there's a level of wholeness that comes with learning self, that comes with getting rid of old baggage. Most of us have been through failed relationships, and if it's been years ago, we should have been to navigate it through those things and know how to move on past it and know better from before. But instead, a lot of us hold on to those things and look for similar characteristics when we decide to move on and try to build and grow with somebody else. So if Ray beat me up, and right before he beat me up every time, he'd be like, man, I'm telling you. If I get with another dude and he say, man, I'm telling you, and I flinched, I ain't healed. Because he ain't Ray. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of us live right now, is we still holding the new person to that old soul tie that we didn't pluck up and pull out. You can't just say, I'm done, I'm over with it. You got to go in and kill it at the roots. When you are spiritually bound to a person, you can move on with your life and keep going, but that thing's still inside. It's that connection is still there. What's the verse where they say something like, now don't get me quoting because I don't know specifically what it says, but I know what it says. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell y'all what I know it says. When it says that, a demon will leave its house, in a sense, and it'll go searching and wondering, and then it'll return. But when it returns, it brings back 7 more just like him. So now we done dealt with this person and we moved on with life, and we're trying to, do better. And that demon still been out there running around, seeking around. He coming back home. It don't matter who you with now. He coming back home because you didn't deal with it on the front end. So when he come back home, you got that 1 plus 7 makes 8. And then for every 8, there's, let's say, another 1. There's 7. And another 1. And so, you see what I'm saying? The multiplication of things that you now deal with because you didn't get something at the root, that you didn't heal from something or get delivered from before you went into a new thing. I don't think people understand our connections, even down to ego stroking. Women, y'all be quick to call a Negro daddy because it make him feel good. That ain't your daddy, number 1. I know they like it. Make them feel good. And it also make you feel good because you be like, look at him, I got him. All I got to do is call him daddy. A man said to me, like, yeah, tell daddy something. I be like, my daddy's name is Joe. You was not my daddy. I don't even let you connect yourself to me in that fashion because think about it. I'm in a romantic relationship with you, doing things that I would never, ever, ever do with my father, God, or my natural father who gave me life. Now I'm going to get with this man and do all these things and then turn around and call him daddy. That's nasty. Because it ain't no other way to call somebody daddy except for to say daddy. And there's only one meaning for daddy. And that ain't your daddy. And I'm not your mama. It sounds good, It's fun. Hey, daddy. That ain't your daddy. That's a whole different thing you creating. That's a whole different tie that you creating. Because now you done call this man your daddy when he's not. Just things you think about when you do go through a healing process, when you with that woman and be like, oh, whose is this? And she be like, it's yours, daddy. And we women over there lying to them Negroes talking about, oh, baby, you the best I ever had. Because we know that heightens things, you know what I mean? That's how the enemy works. He do those things that feel so good, He give you those things to say, they be like, talk dirty to me. Now you're talking dirty and don't really know you dirtying up your situation for real. Because when you break up, when you get with somebody else, I remember being young and be like, yep, I'm going to marry him. We're going to have 2 kids. He going to do this and I'm going to do that. You done created this whole life through a verbal soul tie in your head. And you done spoke it. You remember when God said in the beginning? No, when he said, let there be. Yeah, let there be light. And then there was. We gonna do this and we gonna do that. And you gonna be doing this and we gonna have 2 kids. And it didn't work. Which the person that you probably did that with, we didn't know. We just thought we were so in love. That was our first love. And we done created this whole life with this person. Now when we try to own in relationships, something keeps not working. It's stopping at some point for some reason. And it's probably because of things we spoke. Certain covenants that we came into with a person previously. And now, because we're still seeking that covenant, but with the wrong person, and it's not going together. Yeah, spiritual, like soul ties is a thing, but it's not just a sexual connection, but it can be verbal soul ties. And when I was in my healing process, the program that I was in helped me to realize that, like, verbal soul ties, I really never thought about the things we say When we young, we dumb. Boy, I promise. Young and dumb is for real, for real. What? If a woman call you daddy, if you're an adulterer, no, you're sleeping with your daughter. I mean, that sounds like incest. Like I said, I know it's cute and it's fun, but when you really think about it, for how family is really structured, who a father really is. Your father is not the man you're sleeping with. Mama is not the woman you're sleeping with. Mommy, you know, that's my opinion, you know. I could be wrong, but I mean, like I said, if you want to get real with yourself and really truly be honest and think about it, when we talk about the origin or the root of a thing, buy 1, 2, 3, take a flight, boo. Thank you for flying her MEEK Ness Airlines, where we get your ASS up out of here quick. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, V Rose. That's just nasty. The devil is a liar. Goodbye. Why you playing, boo? Why you playing? Even stuff like that. You know what I mean? Can you imagine the crazy stuff that these trolls open themselves to when they come in and say the most ridiculous things. But like I was saying, you know, like the soul ties that we create from relationship to relationship, you know, especially that one that you've created, that family. Now, when you get with somebody else, you're wondering, I wonder what my kids would look like with him had we had children. You ain't even supposed to be thinking about that when you're in a whole new situation. Or that man that you told was the best you ever had, even if he wasn't, subconsciously you're holding that man to that same standard to be the best you ever had. And what if he don't ever reach it because you didn't let go of that verbal soul tie that you had to that other person that you said those things about? You know, when you're steady comparing that last relationship to the other person, where that other person would never reach what that other person was to you because they're not them. I don't think we realize that those things come sometimes by what we speak, you know, and then what we don't go and clean up the house. We got to sweep every room. We can't just be like, oh, I'm over it, it's gone. You got to sweep every room, because what I had to do was go back to anything I could remember. And the way the program was set up, it causes you to look at yourself like in this, I'm going to call it a big spiritual mirror. Because everything ain't the other person. Some things happen because of us. And it's not necessarily because you did something, but it could be something you were exposed to. It could be something that happened to you and you might have pushed it out your memory. And it's causing things to happen in your adulthood when you were a child. I'm talking about thorough cleaning of your house. But it causes you to have to be, good God Almighty, turn them lights off, son. It causes you to have to be real with yourself and face a lot of things that you probably never did want to face. And then understand that some things that you might have forgotten about or tried to forget about are going to come up. But that's the best thing I could have ever did in my life, is to go through a process of becoming whole. And it's like I had to tear Jamaica down. I had to reinsert my foundation, God. And then I had to get back to understanding servitude when it comes to God, when it comes to friendships, relationships. I had to deal with those soul ties. I had to be honest with myself. You know what? This happened to me when I was this age. This happened when this person did this, it hurt me. Then I had to go through that forgiveness process. It's a lot of work. It took me, I would say, a good 3 years. 3 to 4 years to truly feel like now I have gotten somewhere. But the whole total process was about 5 years. 5 years before I said, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I ain't mad at it, you know what I mean? Because what I learned was what I want, what I didn't want. I noticed how I fell into those traps, you know. When you're able to free yourself of all that emotional baggage, all those spiritual ties, you're able to see where you went wrong. You're able to see, you know, when you see those red flags, you don't ignore them like you used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially women, we'll see a red flag and be like, I know I can change this, because that's natural nurturing instinct, you know, is that I can make him better. I can make this better. But everything ain't for us to make better. It is the way it is for a reason, and you're supposed to not touch it. But we like to pick up that project. I'm sure men do too, but I'm a woman, so I'm gonna speak from a woman's standpoint. We pick up that project and then fail to realize that project might have just been an assignment, and we weren't supposed to play with that project in a certain way, you know? You got project and then you have purpose. Is this purpose or is this a project? Am I trying to build a bear out of this man or woman to make them what I feel I need? Or am I seeking God to see what is my assignment to this situation? And in assignment, even if that person is for you, when you are operating in assignment, your assignment isn't first to make them feel good, like Holly Berry said in that movie. That's nasty. I want to feel good. Make me feel good. Our first duty is not to make that person feel good. It's to find out what God has you in this person's life for. Instead of making them feel good and then realizing that that wasn't the reason why you were even there, or that wasn't supposed to come into play until you fulfilled assignment. You dirtied up the purpose by putting the what they say, put the carriage before the horse. I think that is probably everybody's downfall, is putting the carriage before the horse. The carriage don't drag the horse drag the carriage. And, you know, unfortunately, that's how we operate. We're human beings. We have feelings. That flesh is real. But by the time we get it and understand how that flesh operates, we done been through a lot of things, some of us. Many of us. Probably most of us. Most of us at our own hand. Because we're going to do things our way. But, I mean, hey, that's our journey. You know what I mean? If we don't go on that journey, we don't get to sit and talk about our experience of going through our healing and having an understanding of self to the point that you now know how to deal with certain situations that you didn't know how to deal with before. That you now understand your true value in God, so that when someone comes to you and they don't understand your worth, not in I know my worth, I'm a good woman, I'm a good man, but your worth as far as what God has said you are, who God has said you are, who He's created you to be. When you know your worth in the Father, then you want to accept a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? When those red flags come, you be like, shoot, fly, don't bother me. Go on with yourself, go on somewhere, go on up out of here. You won't stick your foot in the pond to see if the water's warm. You know to move around quick. You know what I mean? But like I was saying, as the weaker vessel, there's a softness to a woman. I firmly believe this. I work with women on a constant. And I used to think that my older clients would have those jewels for me. But I quickly learned jewels don't come with age. They come with maturity. And there's a mature 21 and a very immature 60-year-old. That makes sense. There's a very mature 21-year-old and an immature 60-year-old. I've had ladies tell me they got a divorce and they got a new man. They've been together for this many years. And they refuse to get married because, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but in South Carolina, when you get married, the alimony stops. The lady didn't want to let her alimony go, so here she is dragging this poor man through this relationship for all these years and won't give him this commitment because she don't want to let go of this money. Love of money, the love of money is the root to all evil. Where, in my opinion, if you let go of that money and allow this new man to play his role in your life, how much more will God give you guys together? You playing house for a paycheck and just stringing this person along who could be very well a good man for somebody else. But because you don't want to let go of that money that comes from your last tie, you hindered and don't even know it. I got that from the older ladies. The younger girls, But as the weaker vessel, like I said, when you move in your true femininity, you are soft, you are delicate. And I think the weaker vessel is also, in a spiritual sense, it's like how the woman is made, our body parts. We're more susceptible to receiving things. So in that sense, we are the weaker vessel. So the more we allow to enter our vessel, the more damage is done to us than the man. Because we weren't designed to be that. We're the delicate one in the situation. We're supposed to be handled with care. We're supposed to take care of ourselves in a way that says, if I'm too rough with myself, I'm gonna break something. I'm gonna hurt something. If I act like I'm too strong and I got this, I don't need a man and I can do everything. It's like adding protein to your hair. If you add too much protein, after a while your hair starts off like, oh, it's so healthy, it's so strong. But if you keep adding that protein, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets, guess what happens? It breaks. You can only be but so strong when you're designed to be the weaker vessel. You can only be but so strong. I find my strength in my delicate ways. I find my strength in being the woman that God designed me to be. My softness. I can still be a boss. I can still run a business. I can still have my own bread and be soft. I ain't got to be a man to do that. And I think that's what happens to us. We get outside of our God-given attributes to try to handle the world. We weren't designed to handle the world in that way. We were designed to be loved, men and women alike, but we're to be loved in a more delicate sense. We're supposed to be okay with allowing this man to take care of us. We're supposed to be okay with allowing him to do the things that I feel like God made him to do. And it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're not capable. But if a man is not needed and you don't need him, what are y'all doing? If you so dang on strong, why does that man feel like, why doesn't he, feel like, oh dang, am I at the gym with my bro? A lot of us, as pretty as we are, we still come off as broke because we so, I am woman, hear me roar, I don't need a man for anything. Well, you might not, but it's okay to pretend a little. Honey, can you take that trash out for me? Baby, my car stopped over here. You might be a whole mechanic, but you know what that man like? For you to call him and need him. But if you constantly saying, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, when you got a man and you wonder why things ain't working right, because you've spoken, I don't need this man. But you really want a man, but you don't need a man. So the more you say you don't need a man, I just feel like we like this in the situation. It's little subtle things that the enemy do to get us out of our blessings. And I think that is very, very true in relationships. When we don't want to operate in the fashion that God made us to operate in. We'll say everything is done in decency and order for everything else, but we don't want to apply it to our relationships. We don't want to say God, Christ, husband, wife, that umbrella. It's that way for a reason. Most of us try to go above our husband and go to his covering before he even, you know, if God is equipping him to take care of us, then we need to stay in that. Yeah, stay in your place. And your place is not in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. But it's to allow God. That's the same thing that happened in the garden. You know what I mean? Eve was covered by Adam. But what'd she do? She went outside that man and got them both in trouble and got us all messed up out here having cramps from hell and having babies and it hurt so bad and all that good stuff. Yeah, Adam dropped the ball. Because he knew. He supposed to say, woman, why you do that? God said don't do it. He said, okay, let me taste. Bang, bang, bang. Who told you you was naked? Now let me quit. See, that's why I say when I read the Bible, I get tickled like that because that's how the stories come off to me. I still remember when I figured out it wasn't a fruit for real. I still remember finding out what it meant to know. Then he knew her. We done let people knew us before we were supposed to. Some people were never meant to know us. That's just the bottom line. Some people were never meant to know us in the ways that we have given them access to. Men and women, So that's why I say I don't think there's a huge difference. I think that we are all human beings. We all have needs. We all have desires. We all have goals. But it's just that we allow the world to come in and tell us if the man ain't doing this, then he ain't this. And if the woman ain't doing that, then she ain't that. Well, if you a woman and you act like you need a man, you ain't a real woman. And if you a man and you ain't taking care of that woman, you ain't a man. All this discord. That's why I don't go in them places. No discord. That don't even sound. Every time I hear that word, I be like, I can't. Discord is discord. I don't care who you are, what you trying to do. You can sell Girl Scout cookies in your Discord. It don't change what Discord is. So we allow the world to sow discord into our family structure, into our relationships, and all those good things, and then wonder why we haven't reached the level of success together. Diane Osborne, hey, my buddy. If I get in one of them cages, I'm gonna call you tonight while I'm here. Hopefully, I have one of those. I haven't been in one of those lately, or I might take the backside of the job so I can talk on the phone. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. We do have a position, and it's called a godly position. When we're positioned right before Christ, then everything else should fall in line in order. And there's no time like the presence to allow God. You know what I'm saying? If you want a good relationship, start with God. Let him build your relationship. Let him guide you and listen to him instead of listening to your flesh. Let him warn you, hey, that ain't her, and you listen. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop saying, oh man, I hear, but look at him, he's so fat. I just really think I can make him like this. Abort. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but that's my spiel on relationships and being a weaker vessel. There's strength in her meekness. When I came up with style by her meekness, I was thinking of how delicate a woman is, how delicate her hair is. and how much strength there is in her meekness. There's nothing wrong with being soft. There's nothing wrong with being delicate. There's nothing wrong with being the woman that God designed you to be. There's nothing wrong with allowing the right man to lead you, because the right man is going to lead you with the confidence that if you need to take the wheel, he's led you well and he trusts you. So he's able to say, "Here, babe, you drive. I know you got this." You know what I'm saying? It's a machine that only runs when that oil is flowing through it freely. And I think before I said I think we the oil that makes that machine run, but in all reality, the oil is from Jesus. That's the oil. Allow him to anoint your situation. You know what I mean? Your job, your work situation, your children. We anoint everything else with oil. You know what I mean? No, you're my next victim, Wade. Goodbye. Take a flight, boo. Nigga. So I'm his next victim. I ain't nobody's victim. I'm a child of God. We rebuke the devil over here in the name of Jesus. That's how we roll. We covered by the blood. You're a victim. And your greasy granny. Got holes in her panties. Greasy granny. All right, love muffins. It's about that time. I ain't even stressing about the 12:25 thing, cause I know I got work. They sending people home. I just gotta go in here and make the donuts, and I gotta go to 6:30 tonight. So this is gonna be very interesting. So again, I appreciate you guys as always. You are more than welcome to hit the Cash App, which is money sign her meekness. Some people like Chime. It's at her meekness. All things her meekness. Now let me quit. But as always, I pray God covers each one of you tonight, that he gives you visions and dreams while you sleep, that he gives you strategies, that he shows you the way where you've been searching and wondering, that he opens your eyes and gives you so much clarity that your mind is blown, because that's what he does. He blows our mind at any given moment. God is the mind blower for real. Be like, I pray that as your kids, well, they probably out of school. I don't know. Some kids are out of school because of voting, but hey, cover you guys as you go to vote. You know, you do what God tells you to do at that poll, not what man tells you to do. And it don't matter who you choose. I love you, regardless. I don't care if you support Cam or Don Don. I love you still, because at the end of the day, we are free to vote as we wish, you know. So having said all that, y'all have pleasant dreams. Let me go in here and make Amazon money, as if they need some more. And I love y'all, and I will see y'all soon. Bye bye now. I'm so glad you was here, double double. I'll see y'all in the morning. Bye. I'm gonna call you, Diane.